when I walked into the apartment. It's just, it's wow.
Yeah, we did receive a couple of, like it takes time to travel in from Alaska. So we did receive a couple of nervous messages from Toby on the way that, and deliberately I did not want to send him pictures or video of the final finish to make him sweat a little.
Yeah, you definitely did. I mean, I was very anxious, just excited, but yeah, anxious for sure as well to see the apartment. And I'd seen videos and walkthroughs and pictures of, completely torn up. And then the first stage of, there's one wall here. But I hadn't seen pictures of
the final
the final product.
Right.
So it was pretty amazing to walk in and see it.
Yeah, I'm glad that it all worked out.
Me too.
Hello everyone, this is Sonia from Selling Budapest. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here with Toby. He's from Alaska, and I invited him for an interview because we just finished this project. Last year, Toby invested in a property, and he decided that he's going to buy one. It was not renovated at the time, and we just finished with the renovation, and I thought it would be good to hear about your experience for those who are thinking about to do the same.
Yeah, well, it was definitely nerve-wracking to start with. I came to Budapest, didn't have a whole lot of time, looked at some apartments, somehow kind of liked this apartment, but as Sonia said, everything needed to be done, complete layout change. So gutting all the floors, plumbing, electric, and then rebuilding with a whole new design. So it was a big project, and probably initially I thought it was all going to be easy, and then after we closed on the apartment, I started to have second thoughts of, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
Wait! Before we are jumping right in the middle, let's just go and start from the beginning.
Sure.
So, why Budapest?
Well, one of the most beautiful cities, I think. I love that it's got a bit of that Western and then kind of Eastern European vibes. You get both, where you get some of the more traditional Eastern European, and then also all the amenities and all the safety and everything else that comes with kind of a Western Europe lifestyle. I think there's a lot of growth potential in Budapest.
So you visited before you decided that you are going to invest here? You visited Budapest?
Yeah, I've been to Budapest maybe 5 or 6 times over the years. And then I had a friend who has a few apartments here, and talking with him, he's the one who introduced me to Sonia. And that definitely helped me feel comfortable buying something abroad, because I think, especially for the first time, investment property buyer, buying something where you're not close by, it's a lot to think about, but...
Right, and I remember you contacted me the first time, and then you told me what the budget that you have in mind, and you would like to do everything remotely.
Yeah.
That was your thing. You have a day job, you are busy, you literally live the other half of the world, like in Alaska, and you cannot do anything. However, except you said that you will have 24 hours to come over here. If I'm based on the requirements that you were giving me, if I'm able to show you a couple of properties, then you have 24 hours to come over to check out and make a decision based on that. So if you still remember, because this was last year, you came over for that 24 hours, and then we went to look at, and how was that experience for you? I know it was like a little, very hectic and a lot.
Yeah, it was
for the day.
It was a busy day, but Sonia did a great job with really narrowing down some good properties to look at. There was multiple apartments that were right within the budget. Different parts of town, all downtown in the 5th district.
Yeah, I remember we looked at one in the 5th district, and we looked at one in the 13th district.
And then the 6th as well.
And the 6th as well. And then we looked at this one.
And then another one in the 5th district as well.
Right.
I think it was a small 2-bedroom.
Right.
So all of the apartments were within the budget that I was trying to stay in. And this one.
Why did you decide to go with an apartment that was at the time not renovated?
Well, I think having something that is brand new when it's finished, there's something different about that. When you walk in, having something new, it's always going to be nicer. I really liked the idea of being in the 5th district. The other apartment, I think, was looking into a courtyard that felt a little bit cramped. This one has high ceilings, big window, lots of light.
Right. So that's true. That the difference was between an unrenovated project versus it's already finished was that those that are already renovated at this level and has the same features, meaning that the window is facing outside, we are on the 3rd floor. Now, like, it's beautiful finished, we are going to show you around like what it's like now and what it was like before. But this level of apartment with this exact finish and like I said, like with the feature, were out of your reach when it comes to the budget.
Yeah.
So that's how I understand that you made the decision, like, maybe if everything goes well, then it's not a bad idea to go through the renovation.
So
right?
that was the big question. Will it, is it going to go well? Is it going to be smooth? How is it dealing with something from the other side of the world? And I think, to be honest, initially when we chose this apartment, in my mind, I had a number for the renovation cost, and it was lower than we ended at. So I thought we would be in this apartment for a little bit less, but then we started making some big decisions about what kind of quality we wanted in the apartment.
Right, because you got 2 budgets, right? Like 2 type of finish. There was one in the lower end and then the higher end. So you decided, like, okay, I'm already starting this project, and let's just go.
Yeah. So we I think my initial plan was to go with the lower remodel, but then talking with more people, kind of understanding what is in the 5th district, that this is the apartment that it should be nice and it can hold its value. And if anything, increase more because it's finished well.
And plus, we wanted to do the renovation and get it rented out right away. So in order to achieve a higher return, we wanted to make sure that the apartment has a nice finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once after the 24 hours you said yes to everything, you had a second thought of, what did I get into myself, right?
Oh, yeah. I think the reality set in on, okay, who's going to do the remodel? Because at that point, it wasn't sure that Jofi
So
agreed to do the remodel.
Yeah. So just for the transparency, I don't do the renovation, as well as I don't do any legal, I don't do any architecture or any of these. My job is to outsource to the right professionals, introduce my clients to the right professionals, and of course, my responsibility, or at least, I feel responsibility that through these introductions, this introduction will be successful in the end.
Yeah.
So I was telling Toby, if you're doing this, we can only do this with one person, because I don't have any working experience for that long back with anyone else.
Right.
So I knew that if we are paying for someone and we want to get this finished and the way how we want it finished, then this is the the right person for us.
Yeah, because before we knew that we were going to be working with her, I started looking online. This is after I agreed to the apartment. I started looking about companies and different contractors, and there's a lot of information on the web that has negative comments. You know, people who've had very bad experiences with working.
They're not finishing,
Taking a long time, disappearing with the money. And so then that's when I started to get a little bit worried, going, oh my God, what did I do? Because here I have this apartment that's not really livable. I mean, you could rent it out, but we wouldn't get very much for it in that current
you probably
state.
would have gone on like $350 versus now.
Yeah.
You already were introduced with the management company. They were very happy with the apartment, and they said that they will able to rent it out for you for 2,400 euros.
Yeah.
Which I think for a one-bedroom, 64 square meter apartment, that's a pretty good number.
That's definitely higher than we were expecting, and
right.
That definitely puts it with all the costs right at a pretty good return. It's not the best return ever, but the market is also increasing here, so the value is also going up on these apartments.
Right.
So just the return on ROI, it's still pretty solid. I think I calculated it close to like 7.5%, which 8%. That's
right.
It's pretty okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and our normal numbers here in Budapest on this market is 5%.
Okay.
So that's outstanding.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, because that is usually the Airbnb numbers now. Like I'm not involved with Airbnb, but that's how much they claim.
Okay.
I know many of you are going to reach out to me and asking for reference, but I unfortunately don't have the contacts with individual designers who could design anything. The concept here is that most of the time I work with investors, and investors, they name their budget, they come in and they expecting from me to generate a certain percentage, a certain return for them on monthly basis, right? So this is how I thought that because of the prices are increasing. And now, like for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom is like way over in the 500,000 mark. In some exception, you can get like 1 or 2 apartments here, like around the 400,000. But where we have like a better selection is the 500 and up. So I thought that those who are on budget, we can do differently. We can find an apartment that is not renovated and work with someone who I trust. And I think the main thing here is that I can only do this formula if I get to choose the people I work with, because otherwise I cannot also.
Yeah.
I cannot watch for like anybody, because in the end of the day, you will come back to me and say like, hey, Sonia, you introduced me to this person. So I only have one formula, one team, and one solution for everything. Unfortunately, I don't have like, oh yeah, Toby, like choose from 3 of those, or we can do like this and this and this and that way. Now it's not realistic, and I don't think it's realistic. It's not just not realistic in Budapest, but I don't think it's realistic in any other.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
place in like I have clients who does this work in Florida. The others they do in Texas. Everybody everywhere complaining that the subcontractors are not finishing their job, or they.
We have the same problem in Anchorage.
Right. So
finding quality is difficult.
And efficiency, and making sure that they are reliable, and I think that's what. It's super important to find a reliable team who is actually going to get the job done.
Yeah.
To the point where those expected numbers in the end will show up on your bank account, and then sit back and say like, okay, I have an investment in Budapest and it's completely remote.
Yeah.
And that's the key
Yeah.
and the goal.
Because me personally, I didn't want to do Airbnb. I didn't want to have that much involvement.
Right.
Which was why the 5th District worked for
Right.
what we were looking for.
And then this is how it continues. Like I don't have like 10 management company who I trust and know that they would do a phenomenal job. I have one management company that I selected from the 1,000 contacts that I have gone through the past couple of years, and I see works, like I see that they're getting it rented out, but they don't care about to maintain the apartment. So you come back like 3 years from now, and then you walk in your apartment and it's like, and then you realize like, oh well, this is not how I left my property.
Yeah.
Here. So that's again like a very sensitive area where things can go in both ways. It can be a disaster, or it can be like, oh yeah, sure, like thank you very much. You can say like 5 years from now, thank you very much. We decided with my wife we're gonna move back, and then you can take back your apartment as you left it with them. I'm very happy like what we have for the moment. I know that we just finished and we are just about to give it over to the management company. And hopefully, like a year from now, we can sit down again and talk about it, like how the numbers worked for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back real quick with the contractor. The nice thing was we were able to see her work, and that made a big difference as well, because you had other apartments that you knew that she has done, and so I think, you know,
the references.
The references. So we can see, hey, here is 3 apartments that she's done recently, and this is what it looks like. And you were sending me pictures of other apartments. Hey, this is a higher end finish versus maybe the lower end finish.
Right, and my videos from the
and then your YouTube channels, I think, as well.
Right.
So I was able to get a pretty good understanding of what I was going to get, and that definitely made it easier to send the money, right? Because I knew that it was going to be a good product in the end.
Exactly. So that was not like a render, that was not like a drawing, that was the actual video that I sent to you, and I said, like, listen, we can recreate this or we can recreate that, like which one. This would cost approximately this much, that would cost approximately that much, and then which one you think that we should go for.
Yeah.
True. But see, like this is the other factor, what I was, talking about, that again, I don't have 10 other contacts that I can have, like previous apartments which already tested by others, so I know that this is not going to fall apart like 5 months from now, because I've been involved with those apartments for years, so I know exactly how they're operating, and I also know the management company very well, so I know their expectation in terms of what an apartment should look like in order to achieve a certain amount of dollar amount and so on. So it's just really like this whole process evolved like organically for me, and so I'm glad that you experienced it and that you have a good feedback about it.
Absolutely. I mean, when I walked into the apartment, it's just it's wow.
We did receive a couple of like it takes time to travel in from Alaska, so we did receive a couple of nervous messages from Toby on the way that. And deliberately, I did not want to send him pictures or video of the final finish to make him sweat a little.
You definitely did. I mean, I was very anxious, just excited, but anxious for sure as well to see the apartment. And I'd seen videos and walkthroughs and pictures of, completely torn up, and then the first stage of there's one wall here. But I hadn't seen pictures of
the final
product.
Right.
So it was pretty amazing to walk in and see it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that it all worked out.
Me too.
And thank you again. Thank you so much for sitting down. I hope this video is helping others.
Well, I'll just also say, I mean, if you're thinking about, investing here, having Sonia here, I mean, she's been coordinating with so many people, obviously the contractor. She's been helping me along the way with other questions that I've had through this whole process. Obviously, her contacts with the lawyer, getting everything set up, the tax office, all these things that need to be done, and setting up, the electric and insurance and all those little pieces of the puzzle. It would have been much more difficult. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It would have been extremely difficult for somebody who didn't speak the language to try to navigate all that. So
yeah, same thing with the insurance. I had a previous sit down with the lady from the insurance company, but same thing. To have to find a person who speaks like a sufficient level.
And she speaks great English.
And she speaks very good English.
Yeah.
And she's been doing this for decades, so she knows exactly what she's doing. It's just so hard, at the end of the day, this is a small market, and it's very, everything, all this relationship is built on trust.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously you've built a good network of people that you trust, and it shows.
Right,
for sure.
Right. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for trusting all of us.
Yeah.
I'm thanking on behalf of each of the professionals that you've been in contact throughout this process, and I'm glad that you had a pleasant experience.
Absolutely.
And
I'm just excited to have the apartment now. So I'm staying here now for a week before we start renting it out, and what a treat.
Perfect.
I think I want to come back. The only problem about renting it out is I want to come and stay here when I come in the summer. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be hard to find something nicer than this.
I know. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to make any comment if you have any questions, and always appreciate it if you like and subscribe. And hopefully we will have a follow-up interview a year from now with Toby.
Absolutely.
See how the apartment is actually performing for him.
For sure.
All right. Again, thank you very much for everyone, and I'll see you next time.